All right, sweet, it's going. All right, hey, so this is a podcast, hopefully one of many. And I've never done a podcast before, it doesn't really matter. But I'm sitting here with two of my best friends that I played college football with, Scott Solomon and Andrew Sendejo. And I'll just kind of start off with this very simple. I respect and admire very few people in the fitness industry.
Tanner,
All good.
Start it. I would just point that mic a little bit more
Oh.
towards your mouth.
I could restart. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was just kind of.
Dude, thank you very much.
He just saved you a whole fucking hour's worth of time right there.
Yeah,
Good call.
that was good to do that. All right. I think it's just better that we get into it.
Yeah.
So, dude, we hopefully will be doing a podcast soon, but this is gonna be the first of many. All right, and I'll just straight up tell you right now, I don't respect or admire really many people in fitness or in the industry, but I'm joined here today with my two best friends that I played college football with, Scott Solomon and Andrew Sendejo. And if I was gonna do the inaugural podcast with anyone, it would be with you two guys. So, first
Yeah,
off,
man.
super thankful
Hell
you guys
yeah.
are here.
And likewise.
Thanks.
But
Obviously.
yeah, well, dude, let's just get into it because people may not know who you guys are, but they fucking should. So, Scott, if you don't mind, tell people just a little bit about yourself briefly.
Hey, grew up in San Antonio, played at Rice, played ball with these guys, had a lot of fun doing it. Was drafted in 2012 to the Titans, played 5 years, and now
Yeah,
working with Tanner.
yeah.
Excited.
Andrew,
Same. Also from San Antonio. Went to Rice. I was a year older than these guys, and was lucky enough to continue playing football. Got to play 12 years in the NFL. Kind of did the typical undrafted thing. Went to the
Yeah. I
UFL.
want to go into that.
Yeah. Played 12 years, and then started Braintree Nutrition with Scott. Been doing that ever since. So trying to create better, more effectively dosed supplements for cognitive health.
Yeah, hell yeah. And just really quickly, so we all played college football together. And my three best friends on the team, Scott and Andrew were two of them, and then James Casey. They all went to the NFL. I didn't go to the NFL. I just had to become a trainer. So I just did what I could in fitness. But these are two guys that I've always really admired and respected and looked up to, and I thought about a lot, And so your guys' upbringing or our upbringing, what brought us together. I could be wrong. You guys tell me, but I always felt like we really bonded well because
Absolutely.
we trained hard as fuck.
I'll just say,
College.
for me and Andrew, I know that we talked about you a lot when we were playing. We were watching you over in Dubai. That was impressive to us. So,
Wow.
that was inspiring,
This is a funny thing, but I always did this because I competed in fitness, and so I guess I actually made money working out. So I guess you could consider myself a professional athlete if you actually make money playing in a sport. But reality, I always thought about this, and no one actually ever thinks about this either. I won a big fitness competition. I made a pretty decent amount of money. I made more money competing in the sport of fitness than most CrossFit Games athletes. But I always find it interesting that you guys would make more money playing one game than me winning the second biggest CrossFit competition in the world. You guys would make more money literally in one day than I would competing for an entire season in the second biggest competition. So there's there's real sports and then there's fringe sports. And I don't know if you guys ever thought about that. You ever thought about that?
I mean, I think about it now when I see kind of High Rocks and different
Yeah.
shit like that. Of there's kind of the fitness influencer athlete, and there's the actual professional athletes, and there's always kind of this friction between professional athletes being oh, that's not a real sport, and
You're not working as hard as I am.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, it's if you are having to train and you have goals and you're working towards something, and you're competing at a high level, to me, that still puts you in the athlete category. It just might not be as glamorous as an NFL or NBA or something like that. It's just a different level of
It's
it,
a
I guess.
completely different level.
Right.
It's funny to me because, and I'm not talking shit about CrossFit, even though I don't really care about it anymore. It's I'm past that, but I see so many dudes, they take the sport so seriously. And it's not many people really give a shit or care. They just don't care. I'm man, real athletes are actually playing real sports. They're actually getting paid for it. So it was always an interesting perspective to me, but I just did the next best thing I could. I mean, and thankfully it worked out, but it's just funny because, like, dude, if you would have got into CrossFit, you would have fucking crushed it. But you just you had way better opportunities.
I think that's probably what happens with a lot of guys. If they don't maybe achieve like the professional level, like it's kind of like what's the next like best thing that I can do and still utilize my talents to compete and make money. And I think there's probably a lot of pro athletes that if they didn't make it, they would have gone the same route. So that's why I don't really throw any shade at that.
No, you guys just were fortunate; you had better opportunities.
Well, and think about Andrew's story, for example. Like,
I want to go into that.
you know, going through the XFL, having to try out for teams.
UFL.
Sorry,
was
UFL.
UFL.
It was UFL, yeah.
Sorry.
No,
UFL.
It's one of those letters.
Yeah.
And then like barely, you know, like
Actually, I
not
want to.
barely made it, but had to try really hard to get in, and then made it 12 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, I actually
you know?
did want to get into that. Like,
Just because of an injury.
your journey on going into the NFL, bro. You didn't only play for 12 years. You fucking started. Like, dude, you had a incredibly successful career. I was actually talking to Scott on the way on this. Like, what's the average duration of an NFL player in the league?
I believe the stat is like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So
And Scott was telling me if you hit 3 seasons in the NFL, you actually get a pension.
mhm.
Is that right? So, like, going like 3 years in the NFL, that's like going 20 years in a normal career, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's just super highly competitive. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are going out for that job. But yeah, I think going undrafted, like out of Rice, I think at that point I was like, if I just get a tryout with the team, like I would be happy that someone thought I was good enough to like even try out. And then I think once, you know, the UFL opportunity came, it was a lot of guys that were in my position that didn't get a chance, or guys that had just gotten released from NFL teams. It was all NFL coaches, NFL schemes. And I think once I went there and I was competing with guys that were from like, quote, bigger schools or guys that had just got released from NFL teams, you kind of are able to size up the competition next to you and you're like, shit, I can play with these guys. Like, you know, you can watch guys and you're like, I can fucking do that. Like, and so once you're there, it kind of gives you a little bit more confidence of like, okay, like I can do this. And then, you know, getting picked up out of there to
You played 1 year in the UFL?
1 year.
And I know you can't brag on yourself, but he was the defensive MVP for the league that year.
Yeah, the UFL.
I was?
Weren't you?
I don't know. That's a long time ago. I
That's
can't
so long,
remember.
man. It was
man.
like 13 years, give or take, or 14
Yeah.
years, a long
I
time
mean,
ago.
yeah, that was 2010, so that was a while ago. But I was very fortunate that that league I was in there the perfect year because it started in 2009. They didn't really have it figured out. 2010, they started to finally get some bigger name players. They had some of the systems down.
Yeah.
And then 2011, they started running out of money and like stopped paying players. So it was like a lot of the stars aligned, you know, like I was there at the perfect time. Had a really good coach, Dennis Green, rest in peace. Dante Culpepper was my quarterback. So there was like all these like kind of big name players.
Yeah, you played against Jeff Garcia.
Played against Jeff Garcia.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was like guys that you used to watch on TV, and you're like, holy shit, like I'm playing against this guy, and was fortunate to start. It was only an 8-game season, and was played well enough to where at the end of that season, some NFL scouts started reaching out, and they're like, hey, like if you just stay healthy, like you're gonna get signed. A lot of my UFL coaches that came from the NFL. They were
head coach.
They were all like, yeah, he was there. Mike McDaniel was the receivers coach, but they were like, man, we're gonna get you like plugged in somewhere. We're gonna reach out to our guys or whatever. So
correct me if I'm wrong. Mike McDaniel, the Miami Dolphins' current head coach, he coached you in the UFL.
He was the receivers coach, and he was like our area scout. So he was kind of the coach that. Because the UFL, they didn't have like a full department to have like a scouting department and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the coaches had like assigned areas. And so his assigned area was Houston, and he was like, hey, there's this kid out of Rice. I think we should sign to the UFL team. I wasn't really sure about it because it kind of just started. I didn't know much about it. But it was my best option versus going to Canada.
Yeah. Right, and you like stay in the United States and you get paid to play football.
Right, exactly. So
for a season.
Easy to think about that journey,
Yeah.
It's like it's so it's such a thin line of making it, every season almost.
I want to actually go into that, 'cause Scott. I actually don't know this. Would come embarrassed. Like, what round were you drafted? You were drafted. You took a more traditional route. You actually were given fortunate enough to get drafted.
7th round. But I mean, I was very lucky to be drafted.
Yeah.
Very lucky. I had to avoid injuries my senior year, and there's the stars have to align, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there are a lot of good players that that don't get drafted, that don't get a chance,
Yeah,
that
they never get it.
get hurt in camp the first year, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And then you played in there 5 years, and like, tell us a little bit more about your tenure.
I was a journeyman. I've traveled. I played 1 year with the Titans, 1.5 with Tampa, with the Bucks, little stint with the Jets, and then ended with the Browns.
Dude, how many teams did you play for, Andrew?
Shit.
I remember I think you started off with Dallas.
Went to Dallas. I got picked up by the UFL, went to Dallas for like the last half of the 2010 season. Then I went to the Jets for like a month in the 2011 season, and then finally landed in Minnesota 2011. And then I went to Cleveland in 2020 and then Indianapolis in 2021.
Yeah, and your last season was in 2021.
Yeah, and I did have 2019 was a weird year. I went to the Eagles for like half the year, got released, claimed back to Minnesota. So I just went back with the homies.
Yeah, and so like it's an interesting thing. What was life like as a legitimate professional athlete? Like, what was your guys' day-to-day training, in season, out of season? Just what's it like to be an NFL player? Most people have no idea. Like, what it's actually like?
It's
probably
like a job.
It's probably
like a
not
job.
as
It's like a 9 to 5.
not as glamorous as you'd probably think. No, tell me.
Yeah, it's still bonding though, man. It's still like you still create these bonds with your teammates,
For
you
sure.
know, and going towards a single goal. Obviously, you have the physical aspect of practice, which you don't get in another job,
Yeah.
any other job. So I don't know. I want to hear.
What was like, dude? What's it like being that?
I always tell people
being a
it's if you
starter?
played college football, it's kind of like you're in training camp, but all the time. Like you don't go to school, you're just playing football. So
Yeah, and you're always worried about. Well, at least I was always worried about getting cut every Tuesday.
I mean, yeah.
I had my phone like. Is
I
today the
got
day?
cut in the middle of a workout one time. Like when I was with the Jets, I was like literally doing a workout on my off day, and every team has like the Grim Reaper, like the guy who cuts you.
Yeah, yeah,
And he was just standing outside, and then like I saw a missed call from the facility, and I was like, oh fuck, like
Yeah.
they're gonna come, and then they just call you, and they're like, hey, you need to meet upstairs, bring your playbook.
Bring your playbook.
That's like old
That's when
school.
you know
We used to
you got
have actual like playbooks. You have to
Yeah.
bring them in and return it. But yeah, you're basically just doing football all the time. So like in season, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are like your work days. Wednesday your long day, Thursday long day, Friday's like a half day, Saturday mock game, travel, play Sunday.
Once
And
you're in season, it's not as much of a grind as training camp for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
The hard part's like
You just-
proving yourself in
Or
training.
like making the team. If you make the roster, if you made the roster, then at that
well, you
point,
still
in the
have
season,
to show up.
Of course, but once you make the cut, like the 52-man roster, like then are you good for the whole season, or do you get cut any point?
Oh yeah, you can get cut at any point. It like depending on what your contract is. Like if you have a lot of guaranteed money left on your deal, they're probably going to keep you. If you're a high round draft pick, they're probably going to keep you. But if you're a guy that they don't have anything really invested in, and they need to make some roster moves, maybe there's some injuries. They can cut you like any day. But like Scott was saying, like typically like Tuesday is like a transaction day. So
Yeah.
you see guys coming in on like a Monday doing a workout or a Tuesday doing a workout. And if it's like your position group, you know that like someone probably is going to get cut
dude, there's
from
a pit in your
from
stomach,
your group.
right?
So you're kind of always like keeping your eyes peeled for like
Yeah.
who did they bring
Who's
in for
working
work?
out in there?
Yeah. So, but
Dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's got to be like, I always think people probably think NFL players, whatever, making millions of dollars, and it's got to be a glamorous job. But in reality, dude, it's probably the most competitive occupation, cutthroat occupation you could ever have.
I mean, I always like when talking to like kind of corporate people. I'm like, imagine if all day long at your job, like at your desk, that like everything was filmed, and then like at the end of the day, you and like upper level management, like ownership is reviewing all the film and like critiquing everything you're doing, and then assessing like who they should bring in to like maybe replace you if you should keep your job or not. So it's like extremely stressful in that sense if you're a guy like us that's kind of like on the bubble or not a draft pick, where like every day everything you're doing is being evaluated all the time. Everything from the walkthrough to practice, like all that is being constantly evaluated, and then obviously in the games is hyper evaluated. But you're just constantly being checked to see like, all right, is this someone like we need on the team? Do we need to replace this guy? Is this an area that we can improve in on the team? And so that can that can really like get on you if you let it.
Yeah, it weigh on you pretty heavily.
Yeah, like just that stress and that kind of pressure to perform like every day.
And like I'll just put it this way, like I remember numerous times I'm living my life in Dubai and I'm working out in a gym because like I said, I did fitness, but this is like 10 years after we graduated college, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm working out. It's like I literally thought about you multiple times when I'm training. Like, man, this motherfucker is still playing football. It's crazy. Your career, your longevity. Like, how many dudes play in the NFL for 12 years?
Not
Like
many.
realistically.
I don't know the stat on that, but it's
But
it's
not many.
not
I think
many.
Andrew was the longest tenured Viking besides the kicker, maybe. Was that right?
There was a couple of times I was the oldest guy on my team for a brief stint, like in Minnesota I was, and then
That's
like in
impressive.
Cleveland, and then in Indianapolis I was like the oldest guy on the
And I
team.
want to talk about that a little bit. Like, dude, as a vet, a guy that's been in the league, bro, you're like 30s, being in your 30s, you're like you're an older player, you're a veteran. Like, dude, what was your approach to staying in the league? Like, how did you manage to actually play 12 years? Bro, you had some injuries too. You guys both had injuries.
Yeah. I think later in my career, I started to kind of realize that like I still needed to lift heavy. Like my last,
I really want to get. That's another.
yeah,
topic I
like
want-
going into my last couple of years, like during the COVID year, I got to work with one trainer for like the whole time during COVID. So for like 6 months, and like actually got to follow a legit program, and got strong as shit. And I had zero soft tissue injuries like the rest of my career, and I didn't miss any games unless it was for a concussion or for COVID. And that was it. Like I didn't miss anything for soft tissue. I started seeing a lot of the older guys that played for a long fucking time, and they practiced hard as fuck and they lifted heavy, and they never got hurt. And it was because like their body was like acclimated to that type of game speed and like what you actually experience in a game. And so I would say that, and then just like being prepared and knowing what to do, like studying a lot, not fucking up, and like just where the coaches like can trust you, and like you have to do it every day in practice. And I might not have always been like the most athletic or probably the best guy, but they at least knew like, okay, I trust
Be
this
in
guy.
the right place, at the
Dependable.
right time.
He's not going to fuck it up. We know that. He might not like make the play, but he's not going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Well, there's this saying in the NFL. It's they say the eye in the sky doesn't lie.
Right.
You know, and so like even in walkthroughs, if you screw up just one little step or one little motion or call in a walkthrough, the coaches won't trust you. They'll be like, "Oh shit, should we call this during the game?
Yeah.
This guy messed it up," and
Yeah.
that could just be one little time. You know.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me because like I've known these guys since we're like basically teenagers in our like early 20s, and I consider myself a really highly disciplined, dedicated, consistent guy. And these two guys sitting next to me are like probably the two most consistent, hardworking, disciplined individuals like I've ever met, I've ever known. Like not enough people like understand how much hard work and effort, time you actually put into that. I remember listening to a podcast you did like years ago. It's when you're still in the league. You're doing a podcast with Joe DeFranco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think maybe you were playing in Philly at that time, or
Yep.
I don't remember, man. But basically, he was having you on his podcast because you've been in the league for a long time. Versus it's like you've done something that not many people do. And I remember him asking you like, dude, how long do you want to play? And you basically just said, dude, I'm gonna play until the wheels fall off. Like you said, you're going to try to do this as long as you could. And I was like, dude, that's fucking Andrew. Like,
Yeah.
That's the mindset.
Yeah.
I think what separated, like, both you guys separated from a lot of people, like, we went to a small Division I school. Rice is not a great, or it's not a renowned D1 college football school. But just your work ethic, consistency, and discipline, I think that really set you guys up for success in the NFL because you're probably not the most talented guys, like, compared to other athletes in the NFL.
Correct.
But
Sure.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Are genetically gifted,
Yeah.
probably, but
I think, dude, your work ethic and your mindset really is what set you apart. I mean, that's what I always would think. Like, bro, you fucking went 12 years. Scott, you would have went longer had you not had injuries.
maybe not. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just that's the name of the game, man. It's like
Yeah.
you just never know. Like
No, it's hard, man, but I just don't think people can understand or appreciate how hard it is to play at that level for that long, you know?
Yeah, I don't think you would probably understand unless you were really in it. I mean, you can look at the stat of like the average career is 3 years, but I think once you see, if you're in there and you see the like level of competition and how, you know, there's probably a little bit of politics with like the GMs keeping their draft picks and some stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it's like one of the most sought after like,
Bro,
jobs.
Most competitive jobs you could have.
Yeah, So yeah, I think just even like, having kind of that foundation of like discipline and hard work, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But like going into the NFL for a long time kind of teaches you a whole nother level of like attention to detail and a lot of characteristics that you can like take to just like outside of football, right? Like after football and, being around like the top 1% of people in their particular field. Like, you're playing with like, if you're a starter, everyone else on the field is at least in the top 32 of their job in the entire universe, right?
Yeah.
And so with coaches and everything, so you're like, you get used to kind of being around like high performers that
very elite
people that like do everything with extreme attention to detail and sense of urgency. And so like you just naturally, that's just how you've been operating for a long time, and it just kind of carries over into like every aspect of your life.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Well, one of the sayings was like, I believe it was just like, act like a pro, you know?
Yeah, be a professional, for sure. And actually, that's something I wanted to talk. When you guys weren't at the facility, when you weren't training, practicing, playing games, how did you live your life, like in season? Like,
Just fucking studying film.
you were in probably like I'd call it like monk mode. Like probably did you just like go home, sleep, study, train, do everything you could to recover, make sure your body's right.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you're just kind of whatever you have to do to like make sure you're ready to practice and prepared mentally for whatever the next day is. So a lot of times it's like reviewing everything that you did for that day, committing that to memory, and then preparing for like what the next day practice is. Like just for example, like if you did like first and second down day, commit that to memory and then like start to prep for like third down day for the next practice. And then I always looked at it as like you're taking this like big exam at the end of the week and you're just like studying all week for this big exam physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of just prep there.
Once that week's over, you got to like do the whole thing over again. You got to get ready for the next team.
Literally, it's like you live in these 1 week kind of cycles where everything builds up for this one extreme kind of moment at the end of the week, and then you get to breathe for a second after the game, and then you like have to redo it all over again. You just do that over and over for like 18 weeks, basically.
Like, one thing. Oh, good.
Well, I was just gonna say you even learn like the percentages of plays of what plays they do in certain formations just week to week, and then having remembered
the down and the distance. What's the probability of them running this play versus this play? Things like that. That's crazy. It's like I don't think people understand or have any kind of even appreciation for the level of, I don't know, IQ or intelligence or what the mental aspect is to play in the NFL. Maybe like if you guys could expand upon that a little bit, I think that's actually pretty fascinating.
Well, for me, it was a lot of like visualization, you know, especially when you talk about kind of winding down, I would physically wind down, but mentally I would be just kind of just playing ball in my head of what the next day is going to be like and just kind of preparing in that way. That really helped me throughout Rice and throughout the NFL.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, I think, like you said, not a lot of people realize the cognitive demand of the game, and that's where it weeds out a lot of guys because they might have all the talent in the world, but they don't have that other part.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts to weed people out, and you kind of have the best mix on the field of the guys that are like just enough talent, just enough smarts. Maybe one is more than the other, but they have the best mix of all. But you're right, it's a lot of memorization under pressure while the crowd is screaming, cheering, yelling, and like these just extremely high pressure situations. Your memory recall has to be like instantaneous. Things are happening fast. You're tired as shit, like, or you just got hit in the head. So you're just kind of like in this whirlwind, and then all of a sudden you have to be so cognitively sharp. It like for me, I almost feel like that was my edge, was having that aspect to where I could play as if I was like a 4.3 40 type guy. Is to be ahead of the play. Otherwise, if there was a team that ran a lot of tricky formations or offense that I couldn't really like diagnose before the play, I always felt very stressed because I'm like, fuck, I don't know what they're gonna do. But if I knew them really well and I studied hard and I knew what plays they were basically gonna run, I always played with much more confidence because I just was ahead of the play. But that saved me even my job for like most of my career because I mean, they were bringing in like guys all the time to still, even when I was a starter, to try to take my spot.
Sure.
But
Like, we're paying too much for this guy.
but
He's
the-
10 years,
but,
10
like,
year league minimum.
then you know, like they would either like not know what to do, they'd mess up on the plays, or they'd go in, they'd fuck something up, and then they're like, all right, well, we'd rather have a guy that we know is going to know.
reliable and
Yeah.
knows the shit. And like, so I was observing from a distance out in Dubai, but like, we went to school together. You guys are both. I think there's a stigma that football players might be dumb or not the smartest guys, but actually that's like couldn't be further from the truth. At least in your guys' cases, like bro, like two very intelligent, smart guys that you guys don't even realize like the level of mental bandwidth and capacity you have to have. And then like one thing led to the next. Actually, I want to talk about this right here. I kind of wanted to get in to this because Scott and Andrew did this together, but started it together. Braintree Nutrition, like what was the catalyst for Braintree?
Man, I always say like, while we were playing, we didn't have access to effectively dosed, banned substance-free products that we could take for cognitive health. So like we mentioned, for everything from the cognitive demand to the game, to the stressors of the game, to even like the fact that the NFL is really strict on ADHD medication, we just didn't have anything that we could take for focus, mental clarity, repetitive TBIs, concussions, etc.
TBI, traumatic brain injuries.
And you know, we were always like the supplement guys of the locker room. So there's like the nutritionist that helped all the guys with food, and we were like the nutritionist of the locker room.
Yeah.
Where we were.
Here's what you should really be taking.
Yes.
Okay, this is
Right.
what's going to work.
And it probably happened with you too, but guys were taking banned substances and didn't know it,
Yep.
or they just didn't know what to take.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I would have to bring all the pre-workout for the whole team because I finally I found a product that was legit.
Yeah.
It was dosed well, and like
And everybody go to your locker, right?
yes, and I was like the drug dealer of the
Yeah.
locker room. So everyone, even the coaches, would come to my locker before the game and like get a couple scoops.
Yeah, it should be like they're like sharp for the game.
So like the equipment bags that you put all your like shoulder pads and stuff in, I would load a whole thing of that with like 15 tubs of pre-workout to bring for the game for the locker room.
This
But
stuff is safe to use. Okay,
Right.
take it. You're gonna do better.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's another thing I want to talk about. Like, I think probably a lot of people, they see dudes in the NFL, like whatever, watching on ESPN, these are like the cream of the crop, pretty much the most genetically gifted athletic dudes and just so strong, so jacked. But how many guys in the league are actually taking any kind of performance enhancing drugs? Like realistically?
they don't need to.
Yeah, like
Zero-
like zero.
Like, yeah.
0%.
That or they don't
it's-
even. They probably wouldn't even know what to take. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys that are like you said. They're so gifted that they don't even really have to focus on their nutrition, which is like why the nutritionist is there to make sure they're
Yeah.
hitting their macros and like maybe substituting out some healthier alternatives. And that's where the nutritionists focus on. They're not really like there's more teams that are bringing in people that are kind of more on the forefront of like knowing about some of these ingredients and how they can help in different areas. But for the most part, they're there to make sure guys are eating the right foods or getting enough calories.
Yeah.
And that's really like their main focus. But
Yeah,
When I was with the Jets, they made the guys take like the very basics: fish oil, magnesium, just like the very, very basics.
It's like-
because they had no idea.
It's which is funny because I think a lot of people think like all you guys are probably juicing and taking some kind of performance enhancing drugs, but in
didn't know
reality,
a
no.
single
You guys got
one.
drug tested all the time, or like quite often, right?
oh yeah, you can get drug tested like up to 12 times a year. But I actually kept a log of all my drug tests just in case the NFL ever started to fuck with me and like
Yeah.
test me too much. I could. And I mean, I would probably average like 6 to 7 drug tests a year. So
Jesus.
during the season, even in the off season, so they could just come drug test you anywhere you're at, like in the off season. So they just
Yeah.
call you, hey, you have a drug test tomorrow. I've been drug tested at like a girlfriend's parents' house, like out of town, like I've been out of the country. Like they'll just find the rep that's in that area and they'll come do a piss test.
Yeah, you can't really do it.
Well, one
Really
year,
couldn't do it.
one year I was getting tested every single week for like seven or 8 weeks.
Yeah, that is freaking wild. Like, that kind of leads me to the next thing that I want to talk about because I've taken a hard stance about like not doing performance enhancing drugs because I think most guys don't even need to. And actually, that's one thing that I want to get your opinion on because I truly believe if you work really hard, you're really consistent, and you just got the right foundation, you don't need to take fucking steroids. All right, like I want to know, what do you think about taking steroids? Do you think it's actually necessary? Do guys need to do it, or?
Absolutely not. No. I mean, just dial in your diet, you know, and honestly, when I was my strongest at Rice, benching close to 500 pounds, doing a 420-pound power clean.
From the floor.
From the floor,
Power
no
clean from the
strap.
floor.
I want to go
No
into that really
straps.
quick. So people don't understand, like, you see dudes on social media doing like impressive lifts, and I've like straight up seen this like in real life happen. I've seen Andrew squat over 500 pounds, all right, easily. I've seen Scott bench press almost 500 pounds. It wasn't even hard. And then it's probably, I don't know if people understand how that, like, people will show them doing like clean stuff. I'm like, dude, this isn't even that heavy compared to like what I used to do in college, you know? And like Scott straight up power cleaned 420 pounds off the floor. Like, you're not an Olympic lifter. I don't even know, what was your approach like in the weight room, Andrew? Like, I remember like when we were playing college football, we were weight room, or I was a weight room guy. You guys obviously were weight room guys too. You everything you did to like the best of your ability. You took it more serious than really anyone else on the team. What do you think in regards to training? Did that lay a really good foundation for you going into the NFL? And like, what was your training like in college versus the NFL versus now?
Yeah, in the college, I mean, I don't think we had a choice with our strength coach, with Yancey.
No.
But
Yeah,
I think,
Which was a good thing.
right.
Great.
I mean, it definitely taught you about like the benefits of lifting heavy. In the NFL, like everyone's scared to get hurt, and so you don't really lift heavy like that. But that's what, like I was talking about earlier, I kind of noticed like I was having some soft tissue stuff and like a couple of injuries here and there. And then once I started lifting heavy again, like I didn't have any of those issues. And it kind of, it reminded me of like, I'm like, man, I never got hurt in college. Like, why is that? I mean, I was younger.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was playing white safety at like 34 years old, so it's easy to get hurt doing that. But I think that just, I've always been a workout guy. I'm sure you guys have too, like, even from a young age. So I don't think it was, I didn't have to think about it too much. Like, I think I took pride in being strong and being a safety, but lifting as much, if not more, than like a linebacker or a D-line or something.
I played linebacker. I actually weighed more than you for a period of time. But you're stronger than me. Like, bro, you're cleaning more than me, benching more than me, squatting more than me, you know, doing everything. I was just like, holy shit. It was like insane. And I don't think you have any appreciation for it when you're young and like we're in our 20s. This is just the way it was. Like, I feel like the strength and conditioning in college football, that's like the pinnacle of strength and conditioning. People don't even really understand it, like how strong like you guys were. That's why when I got into CrossFit, I was like leaps and bounds ahead of people that had never had a background of strength and conditioning, you know? And it was just like, to me, it was like pretty easy. But I want to know how you guys feel about that. Like, what's your strength and conditioning, or what's your training look like now that you guys are like done playing in the league? What are you doing now for training? Like, cause like, I'll just straight up say, like, Scott and Andrew, both incredibly strong, lean, jacked, muscular dudes still to this day. And we're all in our late 30s. Yeah.
Well, I'll just tell you, well, I mean, I know you're asking, but you know.
Well,
like,
dude,
because
people,
we had a workout earlier, and
people don't know. So
we did a workout earlier, and it, you know, I'm still doing compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, bench, overhead press, pull-ups, and
basics.
The basics. Upper, lower split. And what I tell people all the time is the best way or the easiest way to build muscle is not lose it, you know? And I remember Andrew coming out of the league, everybody told him, dude, just, you know, make sure you don't lose that muscle, because it's just hard. Once you lose it, it's hard to get it back, you know?
Yeah. Well, like, dude, here we are in our late 30s, and I'm like really proud to say, like, I look very similar to how I did when I was playing high school football, college football. My physique.
You've looked the same since I've known you.
Yeah.
Since I met you at Rice, like literally the exact same.
And he's still saying the same things, the same message too.
No, well,
great, because it works. It's the truth.
It is the truth, and I just like put it out there. People don't have that they don't have that understanding, but so are you guys. Like, dude, you're.
Well, I mean, personally, I've done a lot of different things. You know, like I've kind of skirted around squats for a while and thought that was the answer. You know, once I was in the league and things like that. But really, it's keep staying strong, you know, and continuing to squat, continuing to do the hard, heavy lifts.
The simple, basic shit.
Exactly.
That's one thing that I think I saw like throughout my career was a lot of guys started doing all this fancy bullshit that was highly Instagrammable, and it was almost like guys were just going to like training facilities that could shoot the best content, but it wasn't the best training. And then all of a sudden you can look at it now, like there's a ton of injuries every year because like I don't think guys are lifting the same or practicing as hard. I don't know. I'm not in the locker rooms anymore, but like from my experience, it was like just doing the basic stuff the best you could, heavy, like not overthinking it. It's like sometimes I'm going to move it as fast as I fucking can. Sometimes I'm going to move like heavy fucking weight, and sometimes I'm going to move it for as long as I can. And like I have no background, no degrees, no certifications, nothing. But
actually,
like
I want to talk about.
I know that like for me, what would work. It was that, and then just like being in really good shape, like making sure I could run for forever because I had to play defense and special teams, so I was on the field quite a bit. So like my volume was just a lot.
Dude, when you were
Can I say a story really quick on that? I remember, so summer heats in Austin, very hot. So Andrew would wear a helmet for training. I didn't know anyone else that would do this, and he'd look and see what the hottest part of the day was. Put on a football helmet and then run the track 200s straight, you know, and then a walk back as recovery. That's it.
I know Andrew, and I always like took a lot of pride in being like the hardest working dude I could be. I didn't want anyone to outwork me. I feel like if anyone did outwork me, it would have been you, James Casey too. Like obviously, I'm gonna hopefully get James on a podcast at some point. But dude, when you were in the league, you probably took a lot of pride. Like you were gonna be the fucking fittest dude on your team, I presume. What was your mindset in regards to like your preparation, your physical preparation while you were in the league?
Well, I kind of didn't have a choice because I knew that even, once I became a starter, like I would play at least one, sometimes two. And in one game I played three and like all phases of special teams. Like I had one game where I played every snap of defense and every snap of special teams, which
was
like
that in Indiana or
that was in
Minnesota,
Minnesota. But like even in my last season, like there was one game where I was the oldest guy on the team, had to play every snap of defense and play 3 phases of special teams. So like I just knew like I had to be in really good shape and just be able to run for forever. And like for me too, it's like I wasn't like the fastest guy, and I knew I wasn't going to make a ton of like kind of these splashy plays from being super athletic or jumping out of the gym. But I'm like, I know if I can run all day, like maybe at the end of the game when everyone else is tired, like I can make a play there. And I mean, that was a lot of it, and I think that was how we were all kind of operating. Like, I just want to be in as good a shape as possible.
I feel like, or at least me, I was just not so talented white kid, and I was like, man, if I want to like even make D1 football, I need to be as in badass shape as I could. So like training to me, that was always a super important part of my life. And that's like all I've ever done actually. I didn't play professional sports really, but now you guys both to me are still in phenomenal shape. Like you guys still look like you can play in the NFL. Like if you took your shirts off right now and we all like looked at it, you guys are like some super fit motherfuckers. Like, why are you guys still in shape? What, like, keeps you training hard still to this day even, or staying fit?
It's just a part of me. Like,
It's
you don't even think about it.
Say,
But I think now, like, after football, I think about more of just, like, your longevity of life and feeling good and being strong and being able to move well.
Well, we know, like, that with Alzheimer's and CTE and TBI, excuse me, like movement and exercise is the best prescription to combat these things.
Dude, absolutely.
Okay? So it's a really important part or aspect of longevity.
Without a
staying
doubt.
healthy.
And like, dude, right now with your training, I mean, I train with you as much as I can when I'm even around you, which is not very much. What does your training look like now? Like, how are you training now versus maybe college, NFL,
So there's a reason why I don't ever post a lot of workouts, because I never wanted anyone to know what I was doing.
Yeah.
There's always like a secret. Like you just show up and they're like, that fucking guy's in shape. Like I don't know what he's doing, because I've never seen one workout that he's ever done, because he's never posted it.
Yeah.
He never works out with anybody. Like when we were playing, like I would work out basically by myself. I had a couple times some trainers that I worked with, but there was a couple off seasons I worked out literally all by myself. I just followed whatever the manual said, and I just did that, and that was it. So I would
try to work out with, and it would work out sometimes, but yeah, like largely, you know, you're by yourself. I remember one off season you trained in like a shed, and no AC, in some shed. Was this in Dallas with a trainer? You remember that?
Yeah, that was
just a little tiny shed.
during COVID. We work out of his garage.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was when I was telling you earlier about when I got to follow a program for like at least 6 months, and like we were doing all the old school like shit, and it worked.
Middle of the day, no AC, like
yeah.
It will work, man. And like, I'll straight up tell you, like, as a fitness trainer, I've been in the industry 15 years now. Like, I think most trainers have no idea what they're doing. And I would like to straight up tell you, like, you know more about training than 99% of trainers. You know more about training than 99% of trainers. Like, what's the best advice you could give, like, the average guy who has probably never trained, never competed at a high level, you know, of sport? What's the best training advice you could give just to the average dude that wants to be stronger, leaner, fitter, healthier?
Shit. I'd like
show up. Like, keep showing up. Be consistent.
I mean, yeah, someone who has like no idea, I tell them to like think about all the movements you do as a person, like picking things up, like putting things over your head, grabbing things, holding things, like what are all the movements that you do? And then you know, if you're gonna do a push, do a pull, like do the counterpart to that. And keep it simple. Like, don't do all the fancy bullshit. Just pick them up and put them down. And then kind of like I said earlier, like sometimes lift them fucking heavy to where you can only do like 3 to 5 reps.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, go a little bit lighter, but go as fast as you can.
There you go.
Like, and sometimes, you know, rep that shit out for a lot of reps.
Yeah.
And just keep it simple. Like, and then the other advice I'll tell people if they're like trying to start getting in shape or whatever, I'm like, just start lifting weights at 6 a.m. every day for the next 2 weeks, and like see how your entire life will start to like change.
It will literally change.
You'll just like, I don't give
People
a
will
fuck.
see you differently.
Just
your
go in there at
confidence.
6 a.m. and start lifting weights. Even if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, just start doing it.
Yeah.
And like while, you know, maintaining safety, but like start doing that, then you'll start to sleep better. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to think
everything in
better.
your life's better.
Everything will start to like, that first week, you're probably going to feel like shit because you're like, your sleep schedule might be off. But if you start doing that, things will start to like naturally fall into place. And then you'll start to get into a routine and a rhythm. And I think you'll notice like a significant difference in your life, mentally, physically, like everything will all come into place. But it starts with that 6 a.m. lift.
Dude, for sure. So, quick little backstory. I got in town 2 days ago. I just messaged Andrew. Scott wasn't in town yet. I messaged Andrew Sunday. I was like, hey, what time are you training and where tomorrow? He's like, 5:30 a.m. at my house. And I said, all right, I'll be there. But, like, still to this day, Andrew, you finished up in 2021. You haven't been playing. Still working out at 5:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, getting it in. Like, that's the most important thing for him. And then, Scott, what does your training look like now?
Definitely
Bro,
not.
what drives
but
you?
It is in the morning. It's at
Yeah.
a consistent time, and really, what would you ask? What drives me?
I was gonna say, well, what I want to know, and I want people to know what like keeps you guys so disciplined and motivated to stay in phenomenal shape.
Well,
Still to this day. And
honestly,
how have you done it for like really the past 20 years? That's really the thing.
Again, it's part of my identity. It makes me a better person. You know, in all the ways, it's good for my mental health. But now that I have 2 young boys, for me,
Something
it's
I wanna talk about.
being a good example for them, being a strong father, being a good, strong man for my wife and my kids.
Hell yeah.
And I really believe that children, they look up to their dads, and obviously, but you know, as a role model, they look up and see what I'm doing. Okay, and that's how little boys learn.
For
So
sure.
I want to be the best example I can be.
Yeah, so that's what kind of keeps you motivated, driven today, to stay in just like phenomenal badass shape. And Andrew,
And we were talking about this the other day. Is like if
Yeah.
you're as a father, as like the man of the family, like you're also the protector of the family.
the
Like
protector and
you're the
provider.
fucking alpha guy that's got to like,
Yeah.
you know, if some shit goes down, like
Dude.
you're the guy that's got to handle it.
I think this. You guys may agree, disagree, but like, dude, if you can't fucking at least fight or defend or protect your family, like, I don't think you're a fucking man. Like, I don't consider you to be a man. And I don't know. I mean, that might be a controversial take, but I think for a few years back, like, masculinity took a hit. And, like, that always really fucking bothered me. Like, I always want to be in as badass shape as I possibly can.
Well,
And I
yeah.
think it's even more important. Hopefully, I'll be a father, too. Like, congratulations.
Andrew's about to learn, man.
Yeah.
But man, I'll just tell you, like, just going to the pool with my kids and my family and seeing these other dads drinking IPAs,
That made me laugh.
Yeah.
I could already see where you're going with that.
drinking fucking IPAs and talking about the game and just drunk and shit, and their bodies look like dog shit. And I walk in there and I'm strong and I'm ripped, and I'm just a
like the
completely different
antithesis.
species of father than these other
There you go.
pussies.
There you go.
You know?
That's what I want. Like, this might sound bad, but dude, you're just better. You're better than them because you hold yourself to a higher standard.
That's it, and it's all about just being consistent. That's
yeah.
it.
And I mean,
1 hour. All I really train for is 4 hours in a week.
Yeah. That's
1
like,
hour in a 24-hour period.
that's
Come
it.
on.
That's it. And like, I don't know if you guys have thought about this, but I've thought about it a lot. Just like having standards. I don't know if you ever really thought about that, Andrew. Like, whether you realize it or not, you guys have both held yourself to an extremely high standard. Because what people don't understand, humans in general, I feel like, are really just inherently lazy pieces of shit. And it's like, we all have ambitions, but you got to know something about people. Like, they don't rise to their ambitions; they sink to the levels of their standards. You ever you ever thought about that?
A little bit, not as like
Probably not as
not as
in-depth
deep
maybe.
as you just put
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
But it's
not
true,
as
though.
yeah. That was pretty profound. But I think, like I mentioned earlier, is like from my previous kind of life playing football, like you're in this world of just like the highest standards, and it's hard to go anywhere else after that. Like you're kind of used to operating at that level, and everything that you want to do, you want it to be at that level. So it's hard to, I guess, kind of go to like the JV level after that.
Dude.
You know, it's just like this is like the new. Everything you do, you're like, I want to be in the 1% of whatever the fuck it is.
There it is.
So,
That's well said.
That's part of the reason why Braintree basically survived. Was Andrew came out of the league hot and fresh and was like, man, the world is soft. Business is soft, bro. Like, what's
They
going
are.
on here? Like,
I
it was
agree.
just a total shock to him because in the NFL, it's like,
Right, you're on the top of the top people.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're making stuff happen every day, you know?
Yeah.
So,
That's where you have to do that. And
yeah. So I'm glad he brought that attitude in and still does. So that's,
Yeah, I know you have to. You literally have to. Another thing, like when I look at it, like, dude, I'm not myself if I'm not like strong, lean, jacked, and shredded. That's how I feel. Like that's just a standard that I have. And like you adopt that standard. You've embodied that standard, whether you have ever thought about it like me or not. But you fucking have. I've always thought it's super impressive. You guys have always done it the right way, done it naturally. What do you feel about like this new? Dude, I don't want to call it like maybe it's a trend, but this whole thing with dudes doing TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, dude.
I think it's just like anything.
Do you take testosterone steroids? You do
No.
that? No.
No.
Do you take testosterone steroids? How old are you?
36.
How old are you?
37.
And you guys are both strong, lean, jacked, and like just incredibly fit. All these dudes now, what do you think of the guys that are like in their 20s and 30s hopping on TRT?
Well, can I jump in real quick? Sorry.
Yeah,
So
jump
I want
in.
to circle back to, so I was saying when I was my strongest in college, you know, I actually tested, I got a blood test to see what my test levels were. you know,
Yeah.
just naturally. And I'm pretty sure they're in the 400s. They're
Dude, that's
definitely
like
below
normal.
500.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so happy you brought that up. That's great. Yeah. Anyways.
And so, you know, like with I believe with TRT that you're trying to get over 1,000 or whatever it is, but I was able to lift these heavy ass weights with
Dude,
you know,
normal
and
testosterone
that's
levels.
normal testosterone levels. Yeah.
That's right. Like, that's something I want people to understand. You can be fucking strong, lean, and jacked, completely natural with normal testosterone levels.
The problem is it's hard as fuck, and that's why
Yeah.
there's
Hard.
this trend. It's just like anything. Like if we can, like you said, we're innately lazy people. If there's an easier, faster, more efficient way to do it, we're naturally going to do it. That's why the rise of like GLP-1s, TRT,
Yeah.
things like that. Because it's like, oh wait, I don't have to work as hard at this, and I can still accomplish that. Like why
Yeah,
wouldn't
but what's
I
the
just?
problem with that? Because
You're
I've
gonna pay
seen,
Paul. You're gonna pay Paul eventually. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
no,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Like, dude, you pay. What's the Peter and Paul? I know exactly what you're saying.
Rob Peter,
Yeah,
pay Paul.
yeah, rob Peter to pay Paul. Like, so there's a give and take to that. And like, when I see dudes in their 20s, 30s, even before they're like 45, and they're already doing TRT, I'm like, fucking why?
You're kind of fucked because if
Yeah.
you don't have the foundation
Yeah,
of knowing how to eat, sleep, train, you're stuck on that for the rest of your life. Because as soon as you get off, everything's going to go to shit, and you're going to realize, like, oh, fuck, I don't have, like, the foundation there to, like,
Yeah.
do this naturally. Like, you're going to be taking tests or GLP-1s or whatever for basically the rest of your life, unless you kind of give in and say, like, okay, I'm okay with not looking the way I used to. But if you don't have that, you're
right.
going to
It's
be
like,
on it.
You just have. I feel like they just don't have high enough standards, and they're just inherently lazy. And I know there's nuances to that, but I seriously don't think there should be. It's like, dude, you either fucking want it or you don't. Do you want to be strong, lean, and jacked? You absolutely can be. Anybody can be strong, lean, and jacked if they're willing to work hard enough for long enough. And I think a big problem with, especially today's fitness industry, is most fitness influencers, most dudes, are taking drugs. Like, they're just kind of the part of the industry. And I just want other people to see that don't want to do drugs. You can be strong, lean, and jacked naturally, you know, if you can.
I always thought that they, like, at a certain level, they should, like, almost have drug tests for, like, fitness influencers to, like, let people know of, like,
Yeah, who's
hey,
actually
this
fucking
this
legit or not?
workout,
Who's lying?
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
kind of what happened with Liver King. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they like
right,
Who's
of
a
them, like,
perfect
promoting,
example?
you know, their workout plan or whatever. Like, you can look like me if you do this. Well, it's like, well, no, I actually have to start taking a bunch of testosterone to look like
Yeah.
you. And even in, you know, the female world, as far as some of the stuff that they do for body enhancement, and then selling their, like, glute workout program, that I'm like, that's
point.
you. I can tell you that you had some work done, because you have a big ass and you have no hamstrings.
No
how did
legs.
How did you get a big ass with no hamstrings?
Yeah,
Is
well-
that even possible?
No.
I didn't think.
Not without, yeah. Not without enhancing it. Like, it's just, yeah, it's bullshit. And I just feel like that's a problem, like, in today's society. Like, it's a shortcut culture. And that's, like, something I think that's, honestly, I've taken a really hard stance on that, because I truly believe it. I'm like, dude, if you just fucking work harder and you're not a lazy little bitch, if you just put the work in and understand, dude, if you just train hard 3 to 4 days a week and you're consistent, anybody can be strong, lean, and jacked. You know, they might not look like you or even myself, but dude, anyone can get better. Anybody can do it if they want to do it. And I think one of the best parts about staying natural is, bro, all those gains you make, you keep those. You know what I'm saying? They're like that.
Right.
I mean, I'm
especially when you lift heavy, you know.
yeah, well, dude, if you just freaking work hard, if you're just not lazy, all right? Like, and I think we were talking about this the other day. It's like, dude, I'm very proud of how I still look, and I still train, because I've never changed my mindset, and I don't think you have either. But, like, dude, there's lots of dudes that are taking more than TRT. They're on steroids, and they don't even look as good as we do now. You know, they're
That's
not even
sad.
strong. Yeah,
Paying all that money for nothing.
dude, that's what I'm saying. It's
Like,
not-
just don't even take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I would never take testosterone maybe when I'm like 50, 55, and I just, you know, want it and my levels have, you know, naturally creeped down. But, dude, I guarantee if we took a blood test right now, I bet our testosterone would all probably be between like 300 and 500. You know, you don't need super high testosterone to be strong, lean, and jacked. You just need fucking discipline. No one wants to hear that.
Yeah, because it's hard to do. That's why.
Yeah, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know, people tend to avoid what's hard, but what I think is actually hard is, dude, being lazy, inconsistent, having to rely on drugs, you know, to do that. And even, dude, all these guys, like, what'd you say the other day? There's guys that'll jump on TRT and they might look good for a month, but what happens after that?
Yeah, they just revert back, and then they realize, like, oh shit, I guess I got to get back on it.
Yeah, they're fucking habits. They've never, like, laid the foundation. And that's just something that, like I said, that's another big reason why I've always admired and respected you guys. Even if you look at James Casey now, he's like almost, what is James in his 40s? He's 40, his 40s?
He's got it. I think he's like, he's got to be 40.
He's got to be like that.
And it's hard to look good being an NFL coach. That's a hard job.
Their schedule
Yeah.
is so fucked. Those guys are just working.
But here's a question: is it that hard to be strongly and jacked? Once you're there, is it really that hard to maintain it? Like, you don't even think twice about being strongly injected. That just is the way it is. That's just how you are.
Well, because it's a priority, it's you find a way to work your schedule around that. Like that's the foundation there of what you have to do for that day. It's like everything's gonna work around that and my sleep. So those are like my two those are my two things. I'm like, okay, if that's gonna affect, that's why I didn't go to dinner with y'all last night.
Right,
It was too late.
You got to fucking go to bed.
I was like, I'm going to bed at like
8:30
8:30 or 9. Like I'll be
Wake
out, so
up.
I'm not going to dinner. So like, there's sacrifices that you make sometimes where, but obviously like there's balance. Like there's times where I'm gonna go do stuff and I'm gonna stay up super fucking late.
Yeah.
So like I have the balance there, but again, there's to kind of accomplish some of those things. Like there's going to be some sacrifice there where you don't go to dinner with your friends because you're like, I want to sleep because
Yeah.
I want to be able to
you're going to wake up at 4:30 and train.
Right.
Well, and part of it too is you're talking about the discipline of actually training, but also the discipline of having good habits, just like sleeping, putting yourself to bed instead of looking on your phone. That affects
Yeah.
testosterone,
Oh,
and then
for
guys
sure.
are like, why is my test so
Dude,
low?
If you're taking TRT and you like haven't ever you haven't worked at least hard for 2 years to address your diet, your training, just your overall lifestyle, improving your sleep, I think taking TRT is a fucking cop out. That's like my honest opinion.
Yeah, it's the fast track.
But it's a fast track. It's a shortcut culture.
I'm sure this has happened to you where like you probably meet people and they're like, well, what are you taking like supplement wise? And
Today.
like,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm sure like we probably say
Right.
something similar where I'm like, well, what's your diet like? And they're like, they just want to skip right to like the supplements or like whatever the TRT is. And I'm like, if you don't have this figured out yet, like I'm not even going to tell you about anything else.
And these two had the diet dialed in way before I, kind of figured that out. But yeah, it's the truth, man. Once you dial that diet in, everything else clicks.
Diet, nutrition.
For me, it's 50-50 for sure. Training and diet.
I personally think it's actually super easy just once you develop the right habits. Like I literally do 5 to 8 exercises. That's all I really do now. And I eat probably 10 to 12 different foods and I work out at least 3 days a week. I lift weights. It's like that fucking simple. I mean, you might not call it easy, but I think it's easy. I think it's simple. I think what's really hard is being a fat, kind of unhealthy, I don't know, sack of shit, for lack of a better term. That's like something that I would never, ever want to do, or I couldn't do that.
Yeah, it would be hard to navigate life as a pussy.
Dude, straight up,
That's
like
the
for
hard
real.
part.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. But anyways, I just wanted to get like your guys' take on that and just tell anyone out there, dude, if you're willing to just fucking work hard and just dial in a few things, optimize your sleep, your training, and your nutrition, dude, anybody can do it.
I would say anybody could do it. And if you've exhausted at the highest like possible level you could of trying as hard as you can to figure those things out, and like it still isn't working, then maybe I'll let you go try something. But
yeah.
if you've tried your absolute damnedest to like figure out your diet and your training and your sleep and all that, and you still look like shit, feel like I feel like it's impossible if you do all that. But
Dude,
if for some reason it still isn't working, then I'll let you go.
Yeah, you can do
Go
it
try
right now.
something. But you need to go do all those. You need to exhaust those options first, and then you can address maybe implementing some type of injection.
And hormone enhancement. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to get at. And so like another thing I want to talk about is what's like the future 5 years look like for you, Andrew, and for you, Scott. You go ahead first. Like what are you doing now that you're done playing? You just really going all in on Braintree. Is that right?
Yeah. So been grinding away at Braintree. My last like 2.5 years or so since being retired is like just gotten a full crash course in e-commerce, retail, like business in general, and just continuing to learn and grow and make mistakes and figure shit out on the fly, and just fucking grinding it out, man.
All right, it's fucking working though.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you've built I see you doing it like every day, and I feel like you've established a really good, strong brand, especially here in Austin. what are your goals for the future? Like, what do you want to do with Braintree? Where do you foresee Braintree being in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, continuing to launch products that are on the forefront of cognitive health that are going to help people. I think a lot of times there's people that start brands or start companies like this because that's like their ticket to either like getting rich or like that's like their legacy project of like, oh, like that's what I'm known for. Like I started this company. Like it's whether you want to agree with it or not, like I'll probably always be looked at as like a football guy. So it's like this is not necessarily like it'll probably be part of the legacy, but the goal with starting this was to give people products that could actually help them because it was made for us and our teammates originally. Like we made it for the shit to work.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a like we got to start this so we can like get rich. It was like we got to start this because we
You guys are
fucking need it.
passionate about it. Like,
Yeah.
I like
I mean, that was part of the reason why we had so much trouble at the beginning was because we made too good of products. I felt like, you know, and still do, you know, like it's kind of too good. Like it's a way better product than any other electrolyte. It has things that no other electrolyte has, like the taurine and tyrosine.
Yeah.
You know, at clinical doses that are effective.
Yeah.
You know, especially in
a
the
lot
heat.
of supplements. You guys, you know a lot about supplements. Like a lot of supplements are spiked. They're not great. They're actually what's on the ingredient list is not what's actually in the product.
Yeah. Some of that are just, you know, just not clinically dosed. You know, it's just simply for the label. You know? And that's not the case with brain water. So like, I mean, I'm telling you, there's nothing else like it on the market. So,
dude, I'm sponsored by Transparent Labs, like so I'm with that. But if I wasn't, I would straight up be pushing Braintree Nutrition as much as I possibly could.
That's good. Well, once we can afford you, maybe we'll just hire you over. But
no,
well, I think Transparent Labs has a pretty good hydration product.
Yeah, no,
but not like this.
No, and
I've bought some shit off your code, like from Transparent Labs too. Like, I mean, that's part of the game. Is like you're always trying new stuff, trying new ingredients, seeing how they make you feel.
Yeah.
But like Scott was saying, like I think early on, like we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Like we were very formula driven, and so anyone that knew formulas and knew supplements, like they're like, these are fucking badass. Your labels suck, but everything else is badass. And so like it was figuring out and working through all those kinks like the whole time to finally like start to get the packaging along with the ingredient formulas to like kind of match how good the formulas were and have packaging like that, and then start to just learn the game, man, and learn how all this works. And like being in a very competitive space, and like people give me shit and they're like, man, like the CPG that's like super competitive, and I'm like, yeah, you know what else is competitive? Fucking NFL was competitive. Dude, so like I had to compete every fucking day at work. So like competing is not an issue for me. Like I don't mind competing at all.
It brings out the best in you.
So I think it's just like, I don't know, maybe I have an issue with just like wanting to go do the most competitive shit and just stress myself out. But
dude, what do you got I don't know if there's anything you can like divulge or tell us about. What do you have what's in the future of Braintree? What do you have in the works?
We do have a couple of new products in the works that are launching soon. Some pill products, some other powders, but we're working through those right now. We finalized the formula on our pill product, so we're just kind of like working through the packaging stuff. Going through NSF for sports, so you have to go get that all checked out with your manufacturer. They have to come in and batch test everything.
Yeah.
But
a lot that goes into that. People don't even realize.
Yeah. All that batch testing for banned substances, heavy metals, all the like full testing that NSF for sport does.
But you know, it's required.
Right.
Are you allowed to talk about the formula, the caffeine metabolites, or?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about it.
Dude, I want to know. Like, what's Braintree's most popular product?
This is our hero product right here is Brain Water, but
Brain Water.
Yeah.
You guys haven't checked out. It's not just electrolytes. Why is this better than like something like fucking LMNT?
So Element is really just like all table salt, some potassium and magnesium. So they're missing some other electrolytes. We use pink Himalayan salt as well, so that adds some trace minerals. And then to take it like a step further, we added choline bitartrate, L-tyrosine, and taurine. So it's just a more robust ingredient profile that we tell people to take first thing in the morning to not only hydrate you, but to like prime the brain and the body. So it's great to take first thing in the morning when you wake up before you have coffee. Most people wake up and go straight to coffee when
Yeah.
you wake up already dehydrated. And then usually people take it in the afternoon when you start to get like that afternoon crash. So the L-tyrosine helps improve your focus, under like stressors like heat, noise, or sleep deprivation. Taurine is used for exercise tolerance, endurance, has cardiovascular benefits, neuroprotective benefits. And then choline bitartrate, essential brain nutrient for memory and focus. So kind of rounding it out to where you're getting more than just hydration, which is why we say it's smart hydration for the brain and the body. So if you want more than just, your table salt or like a liquid IV that has a bunch of fillers or is missing ingredients, something that's going to do a little bit of everything for your brain and your body and tastes really fucking good, like brain water is a product. And so got a lot of really good feedback everywhere we go. People love it. And so
Tastes incredible.
Stevia, like that's an important
One thing I want to
factor.
like touch on, like get your feedback, because I know mine. What are your like whatever top 3 to 5 supplements that you include in your regimen like every single day?
brain water.
All right, yeah.
First thing I wake up.
You call that electrolytes? You classify
Yeah,
those
so
as
electrolytes, so hydration. Right when I wake up, I'll literally make it, and it's like already ready on my bedside table. So I just chug it as soon as I wake up, and then I'll put some creatine monohydrate in there as well.
That's another cognitive
Yes.
enhancing supplement. People don't realize creatine is incredible for your brain.
And then, I take a lot of fucking supplements, but like if I'm traveling, the stuff that I'm gonna take with me are like my omega-3, some magnesium, vitamin D, K2, and probably some pre-workout.
There you go. What are your top 5? Like
Honestly, very
Scott's the
similar,
supplement.
but honestly,
supplement
like
guru.
I can't list just 5. It's just like
If you
like
had to.
20.
Well,
No,
all right,
I'm not-
All right, you're
let me
taking
ask you,
5 supplements to
if
like
I have
the
to,
island.
I choose to.
What's the average person? What are the best
Like
supplements? for the average
definitely
person
the
to
ones
take?
he just listed: magnesium, omegas, electrolytes, especially if you're in the heat, which most everyone is at this time.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you say? Yeah, vitamin D. I think vitamin C is really underrated.
Yeah.
I could keep going, but I think those are really the essentials.
Like, dude,
especially creatine. I mean, all the studies that are coming out, I think that's a pretty obvious one.
Yeah. Here's something I want
Everybody
to talk
should be on
about.
creatine. If you're not,
Yeah.
then you're dumb.
Here's like a top 5, like real quick for me. It would probably be, honestly, caffeine. I like taking caffeine. Dude, I love it. And creatine, electrolytes. I think whey protein's a good one for most people. I don't know if Braintree will get into whey protein.
It's possible, but
You guys got you coming out with? Is that allowed to say? You got any new products coming to the Braintree line?
yeah, we have a pill product that's going to be kind of hitting on like 3 different levels. So cognitive enhancement, physical endurance, and some energy formula. So working with paraxanthine from Infinity. So it's a metabolite of caffeine.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard about this. It's like a cleaner version of caffeine. Doesn't make you jittery.
Right, so it takes out all the anxiolytic properties of caffeine. So whenever you when you take caffeine, 80% of it metabolites into paraxanthine.
Yeah.
And it's basically like all the good part of caffeine.
Yeah.
So shorter half-life, you don't get the jitters or
keep you up at
anxiety. So you're able to take it for someone who's like sensitive to caffeine, works great for them. But also if it's something you want to take a little bit later in the day. So typically you wouldn't want to take caffeine after noon.
Yeah.
But you can take something like that because the half-life is much shorter. So it's not going to have any sleep disruptions like caffeine would.
Yeah.
So doing that, and then a branded form of we're having peak HCP, and we're going to have some cognizant. So 3 like very
That's good stuff.
well-studied ingredients at like the highest dosages we can put in there that will still fall under NSF for sport.
Good.
So it's going to hit on kind of all these different levels of brain, body, and energy all
What's
in
that
one.
paraxanthine? It's paraxanthine. Let's say it.
Paraxanthine.
Paraxanthine.
Yes.
Excuse me, paraxanthine.
Most people don't know that. Basically, it's like a
Paraxanthine.
broken down version of caffeine that doesn't make you jittery. It's a clean
Yeah.
caffeine.
Yeah. And a lot of like really good human clinical studies showing that improves cognitive function like after like a 10K run. It actually like tested better than the caffeine group
sure.
on certain things because it didn't make you as jittery and as anxious. So it's a little bit, you say it's like caffeine evolved is what they say. So it's like a more smoother, more flow state type energy.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those people that like can handle caffeine well and you like feeling all crazy, then go have your caffeine.
Here's one that's a little bit more controversial. I actually learned this from you two guys. Like, what are your thoughts on nicotine? I noticed that's like coming in a lot, and like, dude, I actually.
How long you been chewing nicotine?
Dude, that's a.
Been chewing it for a while.
You've been using nicotine
I learned
for
it,
like.
Well,
yeah.
I learned it in the NFL.
Okay.
You know, just like for meetings, basically. But
Yeah.
honestly, I would tell most people not to even.
Don't touch on
not to even
nicotine.
start.
I recently made a video about it.
Honestly, yeah, because honestly, I don't think most people are disciplined enough to only use it in the situations where it could be the most effective and keep it at a low enough dose for it to be effective. Because once you start using it at a higher amount, then
It can. So there's like a dark side to it potentially. But I'll just straight up tell you, I've started using nicotine in the past 12 months, and I learned about it from you two guys. I noticed you guys were taking. I was like, all right, these motherfuckers know something that I don't.
We're enablers.
Enablers. But I actually, dude, I've done the research on nicotine, and I think there's actually a lot of cognitive benefits to it. I actually feel better, and I like stacking it with caffeine, and I do it mainly only when I'm working out. But dude, you've used.
I started chewing Nicorette in 2016
So you've been
from
using
me?
almost like 10
from one of my coaches. He was
yeah.
like, "You should start chewing Nicorette," and I was like, "For what?" And he's like, "Man, it has a lot of cognitive benefits.
It does.
It's got some like appetite suppressant to it. I didn't really care about that, but more for like you said, like chewing in meetings." And so I remember going to a CVS and ordering and buying some Nicorette, and the lady at the counter was like, "Congratulations!" And I was like, "On what?"
I'm
she
just
was like,
getting
she was like, "On quitting smoking." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm not a smoker." She's like, "They all say that," and I was like, "No, I'm serious. It's for the cognitive benefits." I'm like going through it, and yeah, like you said, like I think once you get to a level where like maybe you don't feel it, you just kind of cycle off it and kind of like
Dude.
lower your tolerance and then get back on it. But it was great to. And I still use it today. There's a lot of studies on preventing
lot of studies.
neurodegenerative diseases.
Dude, it's brain protective.
Yeah.
And I'll just like straight up tell a little bit about it. I've enjoyed nicotine. I actually think there's a lot of benefits to it. Yes, it can be highly addictive, but if you are a disciplined person and you know you can handle it, I have better workouts when I take it. All right, and I'm more focused. And sometimes if I need to get shit done like later in the day and I don't want to take coffee, dude, I might chew a piece of nicotine gum, or I'll put like a nicotine pouch in.
it can be a big advantage to it.
Yeah, that's
you
what I'm
know,
saying.
it's
And, like, there's obviously that-
half-life is much shorter.
Right. It's not
There's
going to have
a-
the sleep disruption.
There's a negative stigma to nicotine because it's tied to tobacco products.
That's-
but dude, it just
Well,
yeah.
That
That,
happened
but
to me-
also it's a vasoconstrictor,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and if you're using it, like if you're puffing on it like these guys do,
Dude,
with
don't
the-
fucking smoke. Like if you smoke, I think yeah.
well, including the vapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like-
Bro, vapes, cigarette, chewing tobacco, like fuck that shit. That's not good for you. I don't believe in that. But if you're just utilizing straight nicotine, I think there is a lot of cognitive benefits, and just it's as a performance enhancer. It can be.
100%. Yeah, I think a lot of people early on when I started using it, they thought it was a cigarette rolled up into like a piece of gum. And I'm like, no, it's not there's no tobacco. It's literally just nicotine.
Nicotine,
They didn't
which is a
understand that.
natural occurring compound. It's found in plants.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, I know we got to wrap this up in like here shortly, but dude,
So hit us with the hard ones, man. What else you got?
that's like all I got right for today. For at least this episode, I feel like this went off without a hitch.
It was great.
I had a fucking good time. It's something that I want to do in the future, plan to do in the future. We'll do it. But in the meantime, where can people learn more about you, Scott?
I don't know, man.
All right, I'll put it
We'll
out
give you
there.
his phone number. Just
He'll
call
give his
him.
phone number.
Call me.
Scott is he's not the most.
Where's your social media? I
Yeah.
thought you were like doing stuff on it, and then you like, where'd it go? You got over it?
Busy,
back
yeah.
on it.
You know what? I don't know.
You got 2 kids. That's what it is.
Scott's going to be more on
I
social
get
media.
into
I'll help him with
things.
that.
And I get out of things. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm about to pick up the saxophone though. If
There you
anyone's
go.
interested.
There you go. Scott's playing saxophone at my wedding. You're gonna miss out on that. But dude, what about you, Andrew? Or like, dude, where can people find Braintree?
Man, you can find us at our website. It's just BraintreeNutrition.com. You can find us on socials at Take Braintree. If you want to, I don't actually post a lot from my personal account. We post a lot from the Braintree account. I'm not a big like social media guy all the time,
Not
but
yet.
you
Not
can.
yet.
I'm just Andrew.Sendejo. It's just
There you
my
go.
name.
That's
nothing
on
fancy.
Instagram.
On Instagram.
He's take Braintree on Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah,
Braintree
just Braintree Nutrition.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you just, in any search category anywhere, if you just search Braintree Nutrition,
Yeah.
you'll find us.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm just super happy to see us like be able to reconnect 15 years after college, and we're all just doing well. But
Well, you know you're good friends when it's like nothing has changed.
no, absolutely.
Time has passed.
And I'm just super thankful that I've been able to come here to Austin. You guys were, still here.
How long are you in town for?
I'm in here till the 30th. Then I'm going up to Oklahoma, but
Oh, we still got
yeah,
you for a couple of days.
Yeah, a little time, man. We got
Hell
time.
yeah.
Hopefully, me and Scott filmed a good training vlog today. We had a good time. Hopefully, if I can get one in with you, it'd be fucking awesome. We'll see.
Yeah.
Crossed. But I'm gonna do a podcast at some point. Maybe fucking I don't know what's gonna happen with it. But
What time did y'all work out today?
we did it at we worked at 8:30.
Call and then
Yeah, I had a coaching call. So Scott and I are Scott and I are doing some things with like True Strength custom coaching.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it was good. Like it's just good to see that after reconnecting for a while, you guys are still phenomenal shape, badass shape, doing it the right way, and nothing but the utmost respect and admiration for you two guys. And dude, like people just need to know, man, if you're just willing to work hard for a really long time, good things will happen. You don't need fucking steroids or to take shortcuts. But yeah, you guys make sure you check out Braintree Nutrition. All right. The website is again BraintreeNutrition.com.
Just BraintreeNutrition.com.
Yeah.
You find us
you
there.
go. They can get it, man. But dude, that's like gonna wrap up the initial podcast. I don't have a name for this. Doesn't really matter. We'll get it. But dude, I appreciate you guys being here. You guys, if you haven't, like, share, and subscribe. Tanner Shuck. Yeah.
Never heard of
Braintree. All right. Hey, and that'll be a wrap on that.